In 19 BBY and the immediate aftermath of the Clone Wars, the Galactic Republic's government was reorganised into the First Galactic Empire, with the promise from Palpatine that this would bring a new era of safety and security to the galaxy. This was clearly something the citizens and inhabitants of countless worlds were longing for after the chaotic turmoil of the Clone Wars. However, was this promise of safety and security really going to be good for all in the galaxy? The answer was no for certain systems, planets and sections of society who did not fit into the Empire's blueprint and the rise of the New Order. Within days of Palpatine's announcement to what would become the Imperial Senate, he had pronounced himself as the Emperor, declared a new order had been implemented, and renamed Coruscant to Imperial Center. Also, the galactic currency was swiftly changed from Republic credits to the new Imperial credit. During that early period of Imperial rule, at first the Galactic Empire was very popular for bringing the Clone Wars to an end and bringing stability for its citizens. But their support dwindled rapidly as many worlds beyond the core steadily turned against Palpatine's tyrannical leadership. But what impact did the rise of the Galactic Empire do to the surrounding galaxy? The deep core had been relatively uncharted under the Republic, but the Empire benefited from Darth Sidious's efforts during the Clone Wars to uncover many new worlds for colonization. The Empire eventually declared the entire deep core as a security zone, which required Imperial authorization to enter. The impact on the core worlds had a variety of consequences, but one was abundantly clear: Palpatine's power had a tight grip on the core planets and beyond. As a wealthy hub of galactic culture, finance, industry and technology, the Empire, like the former Republic, cultivated the core worlds and in turn maintained their loyal support. However, human centricism became law when the Empire introduced high human culture and began to target various core alien homeworlds, committing atrocities upon Dental, Balassa, Zalfel, including many more. Imperial atrocities committed including inflicting extensive civilian casualties, enforced slave labour, creating environmental devastation, removal of basic rights, and worst of all, genocide. It forced many non-human species from Coruscant and the core worlds to live in segregated ethnic neighbourhoods. Despite Palpatine's attempt to blame the rebellion, this was the beginning of neutral citizens turning against the Empire for those actions as they felt it was impossible to ignore. An Imperial citizen's life during the Imperial Era depended greatly upon where they lived and if they were human or non-human. Although the Empire dealt some very shocking atrocities inside the Rim to demonstrate Palpatine would not tolerate any dissent, some of the harshest were inflicted upon many worlds in the Outer Rim territories. Inside the wealthy planetary region known as the Colonies, the Empire still held considerable favour with its citizens due to investing heavily in industries and corporations. But it was not quite the same story for the Empire further away from Imperial Center inside the Inner Rim, but held support with its inclusion of the Greater Core. The Inner Rim was also valued for its strategic importance to either defending or attacking the core worlds. For many years prior to the rise of the Empire, the expansion region had been a corporate experiment by the Republic with varying degrees of success. The Imperials saw the expansion region as a good opportunity to develop a presence by building spaceports for civilian and military ships and allowing traders and colonists to inhabit many deserted worlds. And although this gave the Empire favour with the colonists, it only lasted until the defeat at the Battle of Endor. Although the mid-rim of the galaxy was distant from Imperial Center, the Empire treated this region well by providing trade perks and Imperial training. In turn, most of the region showed a level of loyalty feeling towards Palpatine's rule. The largest and most lawless region of the galaxy was the Outer Rim territories. Loyalty to the Empire was spread very thinly, although some of the systems welcomed Imperial stability after the Clone Wars. But it was Palpatine's merciless persecution of non-humans that saw the heaviest and widespread Imperial atrocities. However, as the Empire stretched its grip from the deep core as far as the Outer Rim territories, several well-established territories remained relatively unchecked from Imperial law, such as the Hapan Consortium and Hutt Space. Palpatine appeared to view and appreciate the Hapans as an ancient and self-absorbed society who held little interest in galactic influence, and obviously Palpatine saw them as no threat to Imperial rule. The larger client state the Empire recognised was the criminal underworld of Hutt Space. Although Hutt Space was officially part of Imperial territory, Palpatine's regime largely tolerated and made exception for the Hutt's criminal activities, but were the first galactic government to install firm borders to its region of the galaxy. A mutual benefit existed, which meant the Empire would protect considerable tax revenues from the Hutts, in exchange for allowing disruption of their activities to continue largely unchecked by Imperial law. In 0 BBY, and shortly after the Battle of Yavin, the powerless Imperial Senate was dissolved upon the order of Palpatine, and the Imperial ruling council filled the bureaucratic void left behind. Appointed Grand Moffs and Moffs took direct control over their sectors, systems and planets, previously controlled by members of the Senate. Despite this, in 4 ABY the Empire's grip would eventually decline sharply in the aftermath of Palpatine's death, as many planets and systems flocked to support the new Republic.